Hi everyone, so if you're new here, I'm Damaris and I created Rainbow Vegans Rock, and on my channel we talk about all things eco-friendly and vegan. So today I wanted to just do a video about the weird things that I do for the environment. So I will completely disclose that I got this idea from Shelbi's channel on YouTube. I'll leave a link here for Shelbi because she did a video on her channel which was weird as fuck things that I do for the environment, and it just made me think, because there is actually a lot of quirky things that I do myself for the environment. So let's get to it. I think I've got maybe 9 or 10 things that I do. So the first one is I use a bidet, like a bidet attachment in the bathroom. So I've been doing this for years now. Originally I had a bidet attachment and I was using family cloth, so just some cut up old pajamas that I had. I was using those and then putting them in the wash as well. What not a lot of people realise is if you use a bidet and you do number 2, you don't actually need the family cloth to clean you. The bidet with the water cleans you, so all you need to do with your family cloth or your makeshift rags, whatever, you just need to dry yourself. So this is what I was doing, but before I didn't have the tap connector which I have now. All it is a mixer. Is it a mixer? It's a single mixer tap connector that I use because my toilet in my house the toilet is very close to the sink. So when I was thinking about, bidet attachments on the toilet, I was sort of running through different things that I could do, and this seemed to be the simplest solution for me, was to get something to connect to the tap which I can then use as a bidet basically. Now I'm in a rented accommodation as well, so I was a little bit unsure about doing anything that actually attaches to the toilet because I didn't want to leave marks. I don't want to mess with the toilet in that way. So this seemed the best solution for me. And for years before I even had this tap connector, I used to just use an old washing up bottle, a squeezy washing up bottle, and before using it I would just fill it up with slightly warm water so it's nicer, and I would just squirt it to clean myself. I think it's not the norm. It's definitely a very strange one, and whenever I tell people that don't know me very well, they always sort of give you a look. So this is definitely a weird thing that I do for the environment. I stopped using family cloth. I wasn't finding it very convenient having to wash, and you always had to make sure you had an ongoing system. And now that I've got a baby in cloth nappies as well, I'm already washing the rags for her and washing the cloth nappies, so it's not very practical anymore to sort of add more washing to what I'm already doing. So I've basically stopped doing that. So I use toilet paper, but I do still use a bidet to clean because it's just so much better. I always feel way more hygienic from doing that, and if you're a woman, time of the month as well, you feel so much cleaner. So yeah, that's number 1. So the second thing I do is I wash my hair with cold water. So I've only been doing this for maybe about a year. I just found that it's better on my scalp. I've got quite an irritated scalp, which I've talked about in other videos on my channel here. So I find, because I've got sensitive skin, sensitive scalp, washing with cooler water just works better for me overall. And I found that actually if I turned the water right down in the shower and just washed my hair like that, not even lukewarm, I didn't mind it. And it still washes the shampoo and conditioner out, it washes the henna that I use on my hair as well. I'll leave a link for the henna video if you're interested. And it just, you don't need it to be really hot water to wash anything out, so it's just seemed to work for me. And obviously if the water doesn't need to be heated, it's better environmentally, so that's a bonus as well. So as I've mentioned already, I use, with cloth nappies with my little girl, I use my own wipes that I've made up and solution. And this is what I do with basically old pyjamas. So if you've got a pair of old pyjamas, they're starting to get a hole in, like these are, as you see, don't throw them away. What you can do is you can just cut them up to use as old rags. And the thing I find with pyjamas is they just dry so much better. Whatever material they are, they just dry a lot quicker than t-shirts do. I've cut up an old t-shirt before, and the material, it just took that much longer to dry. And when I have rags for like washing my little girl's face, or to go along with cloth nappies for cleaning her bum, they need to dry quicker because I need to have a constant supply of them. So pyjamas just are perfect for that for me. And in our family, we like to wear sort of pyjama bottoms, so eventually over time they obviously wear out and then I can use them as rags. So this is another thing that I do for the environment, which is, I don't think it's weird, but I guess in this day and age when people throw a lot of stuff away, then usually they think it's quirky that I do this, but I don't. So another thing that I do for the environment is I tend to just, if I have a clear out, I like to just give things away rather than selling them. So I know if someone's given you something, gifted you something anyway, and you're done with it, the polite thing to do is obviously to hand it on and not try and make money from it. So I do that, of course, but also most of the time, if it comes down to selling it or giving it away, I'd rather give it away and make sure that it goes to somebody that really needs it. I gave away a baby car seat. Now I wouldn't have actually sold that anyway because it was actually given to me, but even so, generally, I don't know if you've tried this yourself, but if you give something away on Facebook Marketplace in your local area, usually you can actually find a home for it with somebody that actually does genuinely need it and will continue to use it. So with the car seat, I had somebody contact me and say something along the lines, oh, I just wanted one to see me through in case the one I've ordered in the post hasn't arrived. So it might sound really picky, but I didn't want to give it to her because she was probably just going to send it to landfill and it would be wasted. So I didn't give this lady the old car seat because I thought she's just going to waste it. She's only using it as a stopgap in between waiting for a new one to arrive. So I actually, of course, there's no guarantee that whoever you give something to will definitely not send it to landfill at some stage, but I guess it's just for peace of mind for me, really. I'm an environmentalist, so I'm trying to reduce my carbon footprint as much as I can. So having some sort of control in this way is just the best I can do, really. So in the end, somebody contacted me and they said that their baby had grown out of the one that they currently had, the car seat that they had, and they were looking for the next size up, which is exactly what this one was. And so I felt a little bit happier about giving it to her. So yes, this is just me doing my bit. There's no right and wrong. I'd rather not make money from something and actually know that it's going to a better place, somebody that really needs it, and that just makes me feel better, really. So another weird thing that I do is I use my old breast pads to remove makeup or to use toner, anything like that. These were just some sort of everyday cotton breast pads that I had, and I didn't really see the point in wasting them. You know, they're the same shape as makeup pads that you buy. They do exactly the same job. They're probably just as absorbent as the ones that you buy. So I've got probably about 12 of these, which I'm just reusing for toner. I know you don't necessarily need anything when you're putting toner on. You could just use your fingers and pat it on, but for me, I like to put it into something so that I don't get all messy, really. So that's what I use these for, and I'm repurposing them to get more use out of them, really. So yes, that's another strange thing that I do to help the environment. So moving on, another thing I do is I don't wash my clothes that often. So in the home, anything to do with heat is going to use more energy than anything that doesn't. So for me, I wash everything on 30 degrees anyway, and I'm not afraid to wear things for several days before washing them. Now I've got a little baby girl and she wipes food on my shoulders and on my jeans all the time, but I usually just try and wipe it with a cloth and say wash jeans once every week, and tops I'll go maybe 3 or 4 days between washing. It depends what I've been doing. If I've been doing something really active, then of course it's not going to last as long as 4 days, a top for example. But if I haven't been doing anything particularly active and there's not any stains on it, then yes, every 4 days I can change a top and put it in the wash, sort of thing. It's such a little thing, but I don't see the point in washing clothes that don't need to be washed anyway. It's not in my nature. I think my mum was very eco-conscious growing up, so that's just sort of rubbed off on me, and I don't see the point in wasting energy. If you wanted to learn more about energy saving tips and my switch to a green energy supplier, I'll just leave a link for the video here. So similar to the last tip really, I also shower a lot less. I feel like this is probably a bit of a controversial one, but I only shower once a week, and honestly I don't smell. I'll leave a link to the video where I talk about showering without any shower gel or soap as well. I've just found that showering with water only just works for me, and I don't need to use anything else, so I'll leave that link in case you are interested. But unless I'm doing some sort of vigorous exercise or something like that, I don't need to shower more than once a week. And of course, if you're not showering that often, then you're not using as much energy. So it's just a big bonus for the environment as well. I don't shower with the temperature particularly hot. I haven't worked my way up to having cold showers. Maybe I'm a bit of a wimp, but I can deal with lukewarm water in the shower, and I don't mind cold water on my hair at all. But in the shower I need just a little bit of warmth, you know. But of course, showering a lot less than some people do is a big save in energy. So these last two are kind of to do with energy that you use with technology and on the internet. So I did a video back along which was tips to reduce your environmental impact online. So I'll just leave that here in case you were interested. But when I was looking through that and looking into it, I realised that one thing that I already did, which I've done for years and years, is I switch off plugs. So yes, when I am not using a plug, when I finish with it, say it's a toaster or you finish charging your phone, whatever, I will switch off the plug and I'll try and make sure that I unplug any chargers as well. I know it's only such a small amount of energy that you actually save from doing this, but I'm just in the habit of doing it now, and any saving is good for the environment, is good for saving money, so I just kind of do it anyway. I know it's a bit of a weird one, and I don't know a lot of people that are that much of sticklers with this as I am, but it's just a habit that I've got into. And when I was doing sort of the research for my reduce the environmental impact online video, it was another thing that I found out is that actually just us being online in the first place, it uses energy because of the data centers, the big data centers that send and receive our information, even for like text messages and phone calls, that sort of thing as well. But the big data centers like Google, for example, huge data center, which requires a lot of machines to be on at the same time. So because of this and all of the fans and everything that are needed in these big server rooms, it uses a lot of energy. So when I learned about this, I thought that I need to try and take internet breaks. It might seem a bit silly. I mean, of course, the internet is so helpful. It's a huge source of lots of information, and it's incredibly helpful, but it does, of course, have an environmental impact as well. So to try and do my bit, in the evening I will put all my devices on aeroplane mode from like 8 o'clock-ish until I go to sleep, so any time between 10 and 11. And in this time I just read on my Kindle, and so I'm avoiding using any kind of internet. I mean, of course I am using a device, but it's not plugged into anything. So yeah, I'm just switching off the internet for those few hours of the day. It might seem like such a little thing, but I like to do it because I feel like it does help. So the final one I've got is, I personally, I'm not sure if this is a weird one, to be honest. It's just something that I do, and it's what my mum used to do as well. And it's basically, you know, when you've got a tube of something, say it's a tube of toothpaste or it's a tube of tomato puree, I always cut it open to get the last bit out, because it doesn't matter how much you squeeze the tube right down to the bottom. Whenever you open that up, say it's toothpaste, for example, you will still get several uses out of the bottom of the tube. If it's tomato puree, you'll still get enough to use in, say, another dish or whatever. So my partner says that this is weird and that he's never heard of it before, but I don't think it's strange, because I guess because my mum always did it and my dad always did it as well. So I don't really know if this one is a strange one, so you'll have to let me know in the comments if you've made it this far in the video. Let me know in the comments if you think this is a strange one or not. So I hope you enjoyed my video. So if you like this sort of thing, don't forget to like and subscribe, because that does really help me out as a small YouTuber. And I'll see you in the next video.